had a dream of living a much more spiritual life than a traditional job allows you to live, and also of living a much more creative life. So I get up with the rising sun every morning, and I walk out a path to a cabin where I sit and do spiritual practice and creative work for the first 6 hours of my day. What happens here is that the process of life planning itself pulls the clients away from living a much more materialistic life, and in fact toward a life that is more filled with spirit and filled with who they really are, who they really want to be. I mean, assuming that you would remain as healthy as you are now.
With all the money in the world, or with what I have today?
Well, let's keep it as poignant as possible. Probably just assuming you have what you have today. But how would you change your life if you knew that you only had 5 to 10 years left to live? The simplest way to describe what a life planner does is to describe 3 questions that a life planner will typically ask a client. The first question is, if you had all the money that you needed, how would you live your life? How would you change your life? The second question goes a little bit deeper. And that question is, if you suddenly discovered you only had 5 to 10 years left to live, what would you do differently with your life? The third question goes to the deepest place of all for most clients. And that question is, if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, I'm sorry, but you only have 24 hours left to live, and this takes you totally by surprise, what did you miss? Who did you not get to be? What did you not get to do? That question really hits bedrock for people. And it's in the answer to that question that the life plan is born. So these are then questions that we form a financial plan around, rather than the traditional question of when do you want to retire, do you want a home, where do you want your home or your second home, how are you going to educate your kids? The focus is really much deeper than that. What is it that's going to bring a person into fruition in life, bring them alive, make them vital again? The reason that a baby boomer would come in the first time and say, I can't do anything I dreamed of doing, is because they're just thinking of life as a bunch of numbers. And they haven't lived up to what those numbers somehow meant to them. Often what we're doing is looking at either simplifying how they're spending their time or simplifying how they're spending their money. And that's nearly always possible. I don't know if I'm living my dream, but I've been pursuing what it is that I really care about. I live a very rich life at this point in my life, and I'm delighted to live that way.